We often talk about AI as this abstract giant force that's changing industries. But what's really fascinating me lately is how it's creating this new breed of what you could call super individuals. People who can build what looks like a whole media empire all by themselves.
It's a fundamental shift. The idea of a two-person blog or a multi-language video channel used to mean a team, a budget, a studio. Now it can literally be one person with a laptop and the right set of AI tools.
Exactly. And at the heart of this, especially for something like a podcast or a dialogue style blog, um, seems to be AI's incredible leap in voice generation. The source material we looked at, this document called Shihan Docs points right to text to speech as the cornerstone. It claims the tech can create a two-person dialogue that sounds remarkably human and even lets you create your own DIY voices.
That's right, and this isn't science fiction anymore. What's so wild is that current tools on the market like Murph, AI, or 11 Labs completely validate this. They're not just spitting out robotic narration. You can design distinct male and female personas, tweak their tone, their pitch, their pacing. You can create a whole cast of characters. It's less about simple automation and more about crafting an illusion of collaboration that is genuinely difficult to distinguish from the real thing.
I see. So you're not just getting a robot to read your script, you're essentially casting AI actors for your show.
Precisely. You can have a skeptical host and an enthusiastic expert, or a comedic duo, all generated from a single text file. This opens up creative formats that were just impossible for a solo creator before because of the sheer logistics.
But let's push on that a bit. If the goal is to create a two-person blog that feels human, are we losing something in the process? Is there a risk of sacrificing genuine human connection for the sake of efficiency? And honestly, can the audience tell the difference, and do they even care?
That's the million-dollar question. I think for certain types of content, especially informational or educational content, the audience cares more about the quality and clarity of the information than the biological origin of the voices. If the AI voices are good enough not to be distracting and they deliver value, the listener is happy. The trade-off isn't connection for efficiency. It's often the difference between the content existing at all or not.
That makes sense. It's not replacing a human team, it's enabling a team of one. And this goes beyond just the audio, right? The document mentions things like automatically generating subtitles and even hints at text to video.
Yes, and that's a huge force multiplier. The audio to subtitle function alone is a massive win for accessibility and engagement. People watch videos on mute all the time. As for video, while true text to video is still a bit clunky, you can already assemble things. You can generate a storyboard, use the AI voices for narration, and plug in some stock footage or simple animations. Suddenly, your two-person English audio blog is also a YouTube channel, reaching a completely different audience.
So the AI isn't just one tool, it's a full production suite. It's the voice actor, the subtitler, and the assistant video editor all in one.
Exactly. And that completely changes the operational reality. This technological leap is what makes the whole concept of a one-person media empire possible.
Okay, so we've established that the tech is there, AI can create these sophisticated voices and even help with video. But that leads to the next big question. How does one person actually manage the sheer volume of work? It still sounds overwhelming.
Well, this is where the strategy comes in. The document we reviewed outlines a beautifully streamlined operational model. It all starts with writing a single, high-quality main text article. That's the seed for everything.
One article to rule them all, huh?
Pretty much. From that one article, AI tools can automatically generate both a Chinese and an English audio version. Then you can take those audio files, maybe add a few simple images or a waveform visual, and boom, you have video versions in both languages.
And then you just blast it out everywhere?
That's the idea. You upload this content to a whole media matrix. Your videos go to Bilibili and YouTube, your audio goes to podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts or Himalaya, and the original text goes up on your blog or WeChat. AI can even help automate the posting to places like X or Douyin.
So the creator's job shifts. It's less about the painstaking manual labor of production and more about being a conductor, an orchestrator?
Orchestrator is the perfect word. The model turns a single piece of your intellectual property into a dozen different assets for different platforms and languages. The traditional bottlenecks, filming, editing, recording, multiple voiceovers, they all just collapse. Your incremental cost for creating 10 new pieces of content is suddenly almost zero. It's mostly just your time to review and publish.
But that orchestrator role still sounds challenging. What are the biggest hurdles? Is it getting that initial article right? Or is it the tedious task of proofreading the AI's work across all these formats?
It's a bit of both. The quality of that initial article is paramount because garbage in, garbage out. But I think the bigger challenge, especially at first, is fighting the urge for perfection. The document makes a really smart point about this. In the early stages, the most important thing is to just start, prioritize quantity over quality.
That feels so counterintuitive. We're always told quality is king.
It is, eventually. But think of it like learning to play the guitar. When you first start, your goal isn't to play a flawless concert. Your goal is to build calluses on your fingers and learn the basic chords. You need to get your reps in. By producing a volume of content, you learn the workflow, you understand what resonates with the audience, and you get faster. You can refine the quality as you go. Notebook LM is a great example of this in action. You can upload a text and it generates a podcast with 2 AI hosts almost instantly. It's about getting the flywheel spinning.
Right? So it's about building momentum first, then steering. This operational model paints a picture of incredible efficiency. You're creating and distributing content at a scale that was unimaginable for an individual just a few years ago. Which brings us to the ultimate question: how do these super individuals actually make money from all this?
This is where the strategy becomes a business. The document points to a clear progression. It starts with what it calls traffic monetization. Basically, you're earning revenue from the creator incentive programs that platforms offer to get people to post content.
So you're getting paid by YouTube or other platforms just for the views you generate.
Exactly. It's the first rung on the ladder. As your fan base grows from all that content you're pushing out, you move to the next stage, advertising monetization. Brands will pay to get in front of your audience. But the real goal, the most sustainable model, is building what the document calls private domains.
Private domains. You mean like a community you own?
Yes, this is where you move beyond just chasing eyeballs and start building direct relationships. You can charge subscription fees for premium content, sell courses, or create a paid community. It's about owning your audience directly, rather than renting them from a social media platform. AI's ability to consistently produce content is what fuels the top of this funnel, constantly bringing new people into your world.
That shift from broad traffic to a direct paid community seems like a huge leap. What does that demand from the creator? It can't just be automated content at that point, right?
You're right. It demands genuine engagement and providing a deeper value. But AI can still support that. It can handle the bulk content creation, freeing up the creator's time to actually interact with their core community, answer questions, and build those relationships. It automates the what so the human can focus on the who and why.
That makes sense. Now, the document also looks to the future, and it mentions this concept of a unified agent that can automate everything, including cross-platform uploading. On one hand, that sounds like the ultimate dream for efficiency. But on the other, does that level of automation risk making content feel generic? Does the orchestrator lose their touch?
It's a valid concern. There's a tension there. A unified agent that coordinates different AI tools and posts everywhere simultaneously is the logical endpoint of this efficiency drive. But it also forces the creator's value proposition to move even higher up the chain. Your unique value is no longer in the execution at all. It's purely in the initial idea, the strategic direction, and the taste level you apply.
So the human becomes the strategist in chief.
Precisely. And this connects to one of the most insightful points in the whole document. It says, you don't need some earth-shattering, brilliant idea to get started. There is immense value to be created simply by using these tools to organize your thoughts, to help with your investment research, to share your niche hobby, or to solve a small, nagging pain point for a specific group of people somewhere in the world. Practical application is the key.
So let's try to pull all this together. It feels like we've mapped out a full blueprint for how AI is creating these one-person media operations.
I think so. The first key insight is that AI, especially advanced text-to-speech, is the fundamental enabler. It's what allows a single person to create high-quality, multi-format content that can mimic an entire team, breaking down old barriers to entry.
right? And the second big piece is the operational model. The creator's role shifts from being a hands-on producer to a strategic orchestrator. They use a single core idea to generate a massive amount of content for a wide array of platforms with very little extra cost or effort.
And finally, the business model evolves with this. It starts with simple traffic monetization, but progresses towards building direct, community-driven revenue streams. And the future points towards even more automation with these unified agents, which will handle the entire content ecosystem.
The age of the one-person company isn't just about efficiency, it's a profound redefinition of what it means to be a creator or an entrepreneur. We're moving beyond the traditional constraints of human bandwidth, entering an era where value is increasingly derived not from manual labor, but from strategic insight, prompt engineering, and the ability to identify and solve pain points for a global audience, however niche. The ultimate question isn't just how much content AI can generate, but how we as humans will leverage this unprecedented power to amplify our ideas, connect with others, and shape a future where innovation is limited only by imagination, not resources.